Okay, guys, I want to go ahead and start this live stream. Like always, none of this is financial advice. Always do what's best for you. Just use this for your education and entertainment purposes only. And I'll just do a quick overview as people join online. So, the SPY that proved to be a really amazing trade here. Hit the buy area, essentially went vertical, which is what you expect as you go into a wave three, which is what this degree is. So we should be pulling back. We could be pulling back here like this. Could already have topped. Could do that. Could even do that. So we got this pullback. It should pull back, and then should continue higher. And it will be just another dip to buy. This too is just another dip to buy. So you kind of get the idea. These are just dips to buy. The strategy that I'm following is buy the dip in 3 waves until further notice. Because guys, you got to understand, we're in price discovery. We're in price discovery on the indices, guys. The people that are like, oh my God, it's going to crash like that tomorrow, buy puts like right now, holy shit, buy put. They're thinking it's a false breakout of the all-time high. But we don't have any evidence to show that until it actually happens. So why would you try to top tick this market? This market is bullish right now. It's bullish. What news is going to drive the market to do that? To do this? There's no news out there that's going to do that. The jobs report isn't going to do that. Nothing out there. Apple selling off yesterday on Friday isn't going to do that. I mean, look what just happened to Facebook, guys. Tesla is as oversold as it was back at the cycle low in 2022. So what I'm trying to say here is the market is still bullish, but there's pullbacks. There's pullbacks. Excuse me. So there's pullbacks, and we're going to continue higher until we get to these danger areas, and then we'll see if some news emerges, that will cause the sell-off. But there's no news that's going to do that right now. So anyway, so I am seeing that. I am seeing some bullish traders switch bearish. They're actually telling their followers to buy puts. They're trying to top tick the market. And I can tell those traders don't normally short the market because they don't know how to short the market, because that's not how you even do it. So you're starting to have inexperienced short sellers trying to short the market because they know it doesn't make sense. It should sell off. And it will sell off. Up here it's going to sell off. They're just early. They're early. But you just don't buy puts and just say, okay, yeah, it's time. It's divergence. It's a divergence. Buy puts, buy puts. I'm going to show you guys again. Why is divergence trading not 100%, guys? Look at Facebook. Look what happened to Facebook, guys. Let's say you're so smart, right? I am playing the market like I'm playing chess. Let's say I have 5 waves up and here you are in wave 5, right? So I'm going to short here. Look at this. I got all this divergence. This is amazing. Look at this. Look at this. Buy puts. And then what happens? The divergence gets erased and you get blown up and boom, and you get erased. And now it becomes a 1-2, 1-2, and wave 3 extends. So that's the risk you're playing if you're just trying to top tick the market right now. You're risking that situation. So you got to be careful, man. You guys got to be careful because, like I said before, the Moon Boy scenario is still in play. Whether it should be in play, whether your logic says it can't be in play, whether the market, the jobs report said that can't happen and the Federal Reserve said that they're not going to allow, it doesn't matter. The market's going to do what the market's going to do, guys. There's a lot of liquidity sloshing around the system. And there's a lot of people trying to short that keep getting squeezed until they give up. And you have price discovery in technology. And God forbid, if this is really a cup and handle of some kind and we broke out in price discovery, I mean, the measured move on this is way beyond this box. So why the heck would you try to short the market right here? You're basically saying it's a false breakout. But why would you try that? That's not the way to look at the market right now. So you just buy these pullbacks until the market gives you a reversal, a better, higher degree reversal. There's pivots to look at. So until the market stops you out, there's no reason to go short. It's just buy the dip, hold, let this noise play out. You can't be cute trading in and out of the market at this point. I've told you guys this so many times following my channel. You can't be cute here, in and out and short and long. You got to just kind of let it go, let it flow. And back in this area, we flipped to bullish, and that's been the right call ever since. And I think it will continue to be the right call. And then we'll need to reassess where we are in this area, what we're going to do. And I will tell you this, if we are trading in this area and Tesla's trading down at 120 or somewhere like 160, the market, I don't think, will be able to crash like I'm showing. I think there'd be the worst stocks would be so oversold, they're going to provide a floor to the market. So and the market will rotate into those. So maybe technology could take a breather there, but you may see a breadth improve, the participation broaden out. So just keep that in mind. But this is kind of what I'm looking at, guys. And like I said, the SPY, how many people did you follow that had this call, right? Had this? No one. I don't think anybody, right? But now we're going to be pulling back again. We got this pullback coming. So we'll just see what happens next week. So it's going to be choppy again, choppy. And then again, it's just another dip to buy. It's another dip to buy. So I'll go through the indices, the Dow Jones. So the Dow Jones is getting close to the danger area, but I can't get a wave 3 extension yet. I just don't see it. I see this as a 1-2. This is too short to be a 3-4. So this is probably coming up into the 40,000 area at some point. SPY 512, 518, maybe 520. Triple Qs 446, 448, let's say 450 to be a nice even number. And as you can see, you got this inverse head and shoulders trying to form, which I think it will form the right shoulder next week. Again, should get this pullback, right? This pullback to correct this move off the low. But we don't have to, because it could be in wave 3. If it's in wave 3 already, then it's just going to be a 1-2, 1-2, and it's just going to run. And I don't know why it would do that. I don't know what news would create such excitement. I can't tell you, but I'm just telling you what the chart has a possibility. But I think this is the most likely path: a pullback, but another dip to buy, just another dip to buy. IWM has got a bizarre pattern, but to me this looks like some kind of 5 waves down. So this has a couple options. Could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we finish here. Or it could be put the 1 here, and then it's a 1, 2, 1, 2. Or we're still in this 2. Come back like that. So too many possibilities. I don't like to trade the Russell because it's just too many permutations on what could play out. But for now, I'll just kind of label it like this, and we'll see. It's tough to say where this is going, but a lot of stocks in the Russell are way oversold, and they need a bigger relief rally. So I don't know if it's got enough juice to get down to these areas, but it may do something like this. The more bullish is another 1-2, which is the crash formation upward. Because this would be a 1-2, 1-2, 1-2 would be a setup for a big move out of this. That's a bullish count, but I'm not going there yet. And then Bitcoin hit our buy area. Even in if you watch my video, I told you guys we were in this buy area in a perfect 3-wave move, a great setup. You've got this great impulse out. Now we're pulling back. And either the two is done here or more than likely has another low to come out of this. Another low to come out of this here for another opportunity to go long. And again, you got this nice inverse head and shoulders forming. Nice. With a breakout. Looking for Bitcoin to get to this 50,000 area. And then who knows? Again, do we get Moon Boy or do we get Crash? If we get Crash, this will top out. And then we should pull back probably all the way back between the 4 and the 2. So probably like 35,000 in a multi-month weekly correction. But for right now, we're doing that. Now, what is Moon Boy? It's a 1-2, 1-2 like Facebook, and it just squeezes out, and we go to new all-time highs, and everybody's left behind. But I do think more likely it will peak out here, and then drop, just like the indices could easily peak here, and then drop. Okay. So yes, the indices, I still think my primary forecast is a massive reversal at some point. And then, yeah, there will be a time for this rug pull. And the time to go short would be on this wave 2. On this wave 2. I'm not going to try to top tick it, guys. I'm not going to try to top tick this market. I'm going to let it, 1. With 2, you see the reversal. We'll see the sell-in in this area. Then we'll short this wave 2 against whatever the pivot is up here. That's how you play it. The guys just buying puts randomly right now, they're going to get their asses handed to them. I do think that. You just can't. It's usually guys that just don't know how to short, or they've never shorted or never bought puts before because they don't play that side of the market. So they haven't been burned over the years like you guys that follow me have been. And we know how to short the market. Shorting the market is a lot different than buying the dip, because buying the dip is forgiven because the market is almost always bullish. It's almost up, 80% of the time. So you could screw up your entry. You can buy randomly. You could just go buy calls on Tesla today, and the market's going to go up as it's forgiven. But it puts in call, short, it's not. The market is not forgiven. You got to know, you got to have tight money management. You got to get in and out. You got to know where your pivots are. You can't. It's a whole different way of trading the market if you want to be a short trader, sell a seller. But right now, this is the market. So this is how I see it. So I'll go to your questions, and we'll go from there. And again, I only do 2 symbols, so that's all I do. If you want more, you can give me a super chat. I'll do more. And if you want your question answered right away, super chat, I go right to it. So ZM and UPST, I'll start with those guys. Let's see where we're at with those. ZM. I don't have that on here. I think I have that chart. Yeah, Zoom. So Zoom's interested animal. Look at that. So I gave this potential setup, right? I said when we gave this before, we said, well, it could be done here, but if it formed a connector, here's your new buy entry. And that's what it did. So this was just a connector, and now we dropped. And look, I mean, guys, look, it literally hit the price to the penny. I guess so this is why the computers, are really the ones driving this market. It's not human beings. So anyway, so this is done. So this move, this should be bouncing again. If this is bouncing again, that's Russell, that's broadening in the market, So guys, this is what I'm looking at. So A, B, C of some kind. If I look at the C wave, it could be a 1-2. It looks like you still need 4 and 5, so it could still go a little deeper in this area a little bit. But you're buying against 58.90. Does it have earnings? Yeah, it has earnings coming up. Earnings are coming up. Now here's the thing, guys, on earnings on this. What I don't like is the overall picture of where Zoom trades. It's below this massive trend line. We broke the IPO low, right here, right there. So technically, you need to be careful, because on the higher time frame, this could do a waterfall. So if you're playing this in the earnings, you got to understand you could if this is wrong, you know you're not you could be well below your stop loss at $58. So you're just gonna have to be careful on earnings because that's where the big move is gonna happen in this more than likely, either up or down. I still think you have 5 out of this. It still looks like to me you need to correct this cycle, this entire cycle, and get back up to 124. So to me, I would say higher. I would be more confident if we were trading over 72, but we're not. So if we go into earnings down in this area, you got to be really careful because, you know, you could wake up the next morning and we could be traded down here. Okay. And then, you know, you won't your stops are not going to really help you that much. All right, the next one is UPST. Let's see where we have that. Looks like we've not done this chart before. So again, you got a lower low. Okay, you got a lower low. You know, those aren't typically. It's not what I like to see, but it is what it is. So we have to trade off the lowest price level in the direction of the trend. Looks like that's right there. So you have to assume you're bullish out of this. So we'll trade that trend line out. So here, this looks like some kind of A, B, C. You know, more than likely that's gonna break. This is gonna break. This looks like 5 up, and this looks like 5 down. This is a mess. Whoever, yeah, this is a really messy chart to try to forecast. You know, I'm gonna try to forecast it, but this is like, again, just kind of like flipping a coin here. But looking at it, it looks like to be something like that is gonna play out. So all that choppy sideways, you know. So if you're in this, there's probably better things to trade unless you're trying to you have some other strategy you're trying to do here. But this to me is where we're going. And then when this comes, whenever this happens, you need that low to hold at 12. If not, it will unravel. It will be a go to zero stock. It'll become a go to zero. So there's your line in the sand. So I think it's something like this. This is what I'm thinking. That is, it's going to be really messy here, really messy. But you'll have to do what's best for you on that. All right, already did Zoom. Disney. We have not looked at Disney in a while. How's that doing? I haven't even paid attention to Disney. It was pretty weak, right? It's been pretty weak. Let's take a look at how we're doing on it. All right, so this has been a long time since we looked at this chart. So we're correct in the grand super cycle from the very founding of Disney, right? The founding. Okay, so you're coming up against this massive trend line resistance, danger sign. Okay, so where are we in the connector? So now we need to kind of look at the connector and just kind of take a look at what we got going on here. So you see how we came out? So we're still kind of in a connector here of some kind. So so it seems likely that the B wave will continue to push higher, but it's going to fail at some point. My guess is at some point C will come into play, and it could be a lot longer, but I do think we're in a connector wave now, and it could you know, so I think there's some upside potential. I mean, where where could it eventually, lead to? Yeah, I mean, it's tough to say, but 129, 144, something like that. Again, I don't like this bottom. Now, so it looks like to me the cycle is higher now. It's breaking higher. So it's bullish against 79.31. So it's buy the dip until further notice. But I do think at some point C comes in. Now, B could go higher, right? It could go higher. It could become an expanded flat again. We've talked about, we don't know. So I think this cycle, this downtrend is over. The fear was B was a shallow connector, but it looks like that's not the case. It looks like it's just going to be a complicated connector wave that will play out. So I still think it's got more upside potential here. And this looks like 5 waves down to me. Yeah, so tough to say, but I do think it does seem like it's higher at the time for the time being. Let's take a look. So see that cycle's over. Something like that. You see how we broke that high? So there's definitely more upside coming, no matter what happens here. All right, that's it. That's Disney, guys. That's Disney. TQQ. Last update on that I gave. We're looking for 70 in the $70 area to top out TQQ. We could take a look at it. So TQQ did hit the buy area. It would have stopped you out here, but there's a couple things going on in TQQ that I want to mention. You have 5 up. This looks like 5 down, right? So it looks like it needs another swing lower, right? Which could be the pullback that I'm talking about that we could get. So if this is the count, then it should drop. Back down to here, 52, 51. For a really good opportunity, if this can happen. And it may have already started its turn, like that. So, but here's the sell. This is the area you're start to see selling. But again, if you look at the overall picture, now, bigger picture, we have this 1, 2, 1, 2, but now this is becoming a larger degree correction, right? So if this trend line, if that can finish, and if it could still hold this trend line, then it's the bullish 1, 2, 1, 2. If not, then it's something else, right? Then it's something else. We didn't break that high here. Yeah, I would have to try to label it as like a 5 wave, force it, because it would correct the whole cycle, which also puts it in danger of topping early, right? Which would also be a sign that the indices could be at risk. So that's something we keep an eye on. But right now, there's no reason to say that's the case. Now, of course, this may not happen, but it seems like likely. The other possibility is 2 is done, and what I have is 5 is in 5. It's really 3. 1, 2, 3. connector, 1, 2, 3. And it's deceiving because it looks like 5 waves, but it really isn't. If that's the case, we'll just continue higher. And I think the way to look at it is if we could break out more, um, hit 50, not then we know that that's the case. So I'll leave this here. Like if the market were to pull back, this is what I'd like to buy it. Right now it's really sidelines, and if I go back to the triple Qs, it's like, you know, this is kind of what I'm expecting. A little bit more upside, if any, and then a pullback. This pullback, okay, to form this. So that's what I'm thinking. The surprise, to me, that it would be surprising if it's already done, and this was a 1, 2, 1, 2, and it just caps out. It'd be really surprising, but it could, but it's possible. So you don't know. But I think this is the most likely path. Okay, Delta, Delta, Delta Lions. Yeah, oil's been working out, man. We have owned the oil market. These guys, these energy traders need to hire me because we have called every pivot and swing on the oil market like for the last 12 months exact, like perfect, which is kind of scary, but it's worked out. Sometimes it works out like that. But yeah, oil is turning down just like we expect it, and it's sad thing is it's just going to go lower, but not sad for consumers, that's for sure. Not sad for consumers. Um, all right, what we see your question is SLDB ATRA. All right, let's see. All right, Solid Biosciences. I have no idea what these guys do, but like most of these tech companies, they love to reverse split, right? And clearly the trend is lower. It actually looks like it's finished its first impulse down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then wave 3 bottomed out and already there. Okay, so very interesting chart. So, I'm not going to label all of it, but I'm just going to basically show you that, you have this 1, 2, something like this. So you're in 4. So 4 should go and tag 22, right? Because you're retracing the wave 3. You're retracing this whole move. Since 174, you're retracing this whole move. So to me, this is too shallow. So it's in an uptrend for the time being against 168. 168, but it won't be a straight line. It could be a lot of things, and it won't be for the faint of heart either, because this is a very volatile rate stock. It looks like the first impulse off the low is finished with divergence. So we should definitely get, another swing higher. But how high is the question? I don't know. But I would say be careful being too bearish. But yeah, at some point, this is going to fail. This is going to fail, and it's going to go lower. And they're going to have to reverse split more. So just keep that in mind. ATRA. Yeah, I remember this stock. Boy, it's been a long time. Traded this in a long time ago. Wow, again, same thing. All these reverse splits. All right, let's take a look at a couple things. Just kind of play around here. That's interesting. It hit the Fibonacci support area, and we got a violent reaction higher. All right, given that, Again, I would trade bullish against that pivot at 20 cents. Um, so I would be looking for just more upside until further notice. I don't know if there's any news that dropped on these things that would have caused this, but to me, I would just start labeling bullish counts until further notice for quite a while because I think it's correcting the whole thing now. Um, and it's probably already in wave four. So that's what I'm looking at because it now has Fibonacci support on a very large degree, a large time frame since 2015. So this level finally got tagged, and it must have took quite a while. A, B, C. Let's take a look here. Um, so that's a connector there. So let's do some more. Let's do some more labeling. Let's do some more labeling. It's in the B wave of Y. It's in the B wave of Y. So it's gonna. So this should fail. There's also support here. So you got multiple, Fibonacci support levels here. So it's in B of Y. So to me, we should go higher, but then that should fail at some point. Now, if you look at the last B wave, I mean, it went crazy high, right? Look at that. I mean, is it going to do something like that again and come up to like $19, $20? I don't know, but who knows? I mean, who knows? Who knows? Something like that. But you'll have to do what's best for you. I mean, but I would say if I was so inclined that I had to trade this, I would just trade it on the bullish side against that low where we bounced against this low here in these areas, and I would just trade it on the bull. I would just trade a bullish side until we get a lot higher because I think it's got to have a B. In the nature of this stock, it tends to have massive spikes when it does spike. So I think we probably get one of those on this soon, and then probably another drop if the company can be alive after that. Okay, cool. Thanks again, Delta Lion. So then I got another super chat came in. Uh, crypto. Oh, SVIX. Yeah, I normally don't chart the VIX, but I'll look at that real quick. So there's your first cycle right there. Something like this. Yeah, I don't like how that plays out. Um, the divergence there. Not enough chart data. Yeah, I'm gonna label that a wave four. I'm gonna label this a wave four. So 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 yeah, it looks like this is almost finished. It's an entire impulse higher, but again, we know divergence can be erased, so we need to check divergences. And you see, we erased the divergence. So now that negates this 4. You see what happens, guys, if you try to play these divergences? They get erased a lot. So it's extended. So we're going to go high. It should go higher in the powerful wave 3. So it should see prices up to 57 or higher before the 4s and 5s start coming into play. So this should just continue to extend higher. And then I don't know what that is. I mean, that could be more too. Like, this is a mess. It could be 1 2 1 2. Like, I'll just leave that alone. So thanks for the super chat, Donald. I'll go to yours for 10. Thanks, man, for the 10. Nvidia and coin. Yeah, Nvidia has been really bullish, right? But I do think we need to watch the divergences in Nvidia just to make sure we don't have divergence getting erased, because the 4 wave was too shallow. Was pretty shallow, right? This was really shallow. You know, we wanted it to go deeper. We did get that flat, right? We did get that flat. It just didn't go as deep as we wanted it. So now it's in wave. Is it in wave? The question is it in wave 5, or is this another 1 2 and it extends? So that's $1 million question. So that's important to know for the overall stock market too, right? Because if this is wave 5, then a massive pullback is coming. So let's take a look at the divergences. So see, we're still, but I need to just double check the wave. Oh, there we go. That's the wave. All right, so we took out the divergence. You see that, guys? You see that right there, that peak and that peak? So this isn't a 4 anymore. It's not a 4. It's not a 4 anymore. This isn't a 4 anymore. This is why Elliott waves is tough to just trade and make money on its own, because it doesn't predict these divergences being erased really well. So now it's going higher. So I mean, you know, I mentioned if that got erased, if we erase that divergence, it could go to $1,000, guys. I mean, it could go to $1,000. I know it's hard to believe that, but that's what it's saying. That's what it's saying. Now you got, looks like this should be finishing up. This should be finishing up. Unless it erases divergence. It may do that tomorrow. I mean, it may do that. If 5 could push up a little bit higher, then we've got another 1 2. This is another 1 2. Crazy. Yeah, well, this is a moon boy market, man. This is a moon boy market. Imagine when all this tops out and then all that profit and money turns into all the other shit in the market, because that's what's going to happen. And then all the stupid shit stocks will run and peter out. And then you'll probably get your crash after that. But I mean, man, it's crazy. So I think for right now, this is what you got to look at, something like that. And it's going to go higher. So where's the target now for Nvidia now that you have this massive extension taking shape? Yeah, $1,000. That'll be my target. $1,000, guys. I know no one wants to believe that, but that's the chart. That's somewhere up in here. So that's ultimately, I do think, fast forward, we'll be at $1,000. No matter what happens here. Again, why be cute? You don't need to be cute. So this is really just, it's just going to keep extending. And people are trying to top tickets. See, what's happening, guys, is you have the traders that like think the market is chess, and they have like 5 different, 50 different charts, and they go on and they see a nice divergence. Like, look at this. This was massive divergence right here, right? Massive bearish divergence, boom, blown away. What if the indices do that, guys? Who's to say the indices can't do that? And you get your moon boy, and the scenario that has a 5% likelihood happens, and you're all in short because you're so smart, because you know how to top tick a market, and you trade divergences. Divergences get erased, and I just showed you all these tech stocks are erasing divergences, and they're extending. The indices can do that. They can do that. Don't think they can't do that. So you got to be careful if you really want to short. If you really have to short, just be careful with that. I'm just trying to give you guys my advice on that. But anyway, that's Nvidia. Very interesting. And then Coinbase, yeah, Coinbase hit, I think was close to our buy area, hit our buy area, is bounced. I was looking at it a few days ago, if I can find it. There it is. Yeah, yeah, it looks like it just missed our buy area by a few pennies, or a couple bucks actually. Uh, so this is it's either a connector for this wave down, which means a lot of downside, right? Because if that's a connector, that's in 3, that would take you all the way down to $80. That means Bitcoin is gonna like have a massive rug pull, right? We don't have any signs of that happening, so we have to label the more bullish count. You have to, right? Until the market says otherwise. So you have to go with the 1-2-1-2 setup. So that's what I would go with Coinbase. Now, if we do come back and break this low, then you have a lower low sequence, which will push us lower eventually, even if it does the typical break the low, rip, and then crash, which is this, right? The market loves to do break the low, run the stops, rip higher, and then crash later, like that. The market loves this pattern. So you have to be careful of that. But once this low breaks, then you're set up for this later, and the trade and the setup is dead. It's not it's not really tradable in my system anymore. The setup's lost. Right now the setup is not lost. In fact, you could trade it long against a 123.80 stop with a high reward, very low risk setup in Coinbase. All right, man. Thanks for the 10. German. Okay, crypto tokens. Yeah, we can take a look at the crypto here. Let's take a look at those. Let's see. Some of these, I don't know if I have any of these charted, so I have to kind of take a look. Yeah, a lot of these are new to me. Those, so. We have that one. Looks like we have that one. Let's start with the one we have. All right, so it looks like we did get the bottom. Wanted to see a 5, and this is why sometimes it's tricky getting that last swing right. So it was probably better to label it this way. But it looks like obviously it's bullish against this low, and now we're correcting that first pump. So that's good. Bullish. You got the divergence. You've got the cycle broke on the daily, and if you look, you've kind of bottomed out and you broke the cycle. So in some ways, you're in a new bullish trend or a connector wave. So either 2 is in here at this low, or it's a connector, which would bring you back to retest this low. So tough to say, what it will do, but it's definitely tradable here in this 3-wave situation that I'm looking at. Let's see here. I have to break the candles out a little bit better. Yeah, this candle's crazy. So it's going to be hard. I think you just have to assume somewhere in here was the connector for this move, and then you have a bottom here. So now it's essentially it's bullish against this 1.5 cents. So again, it's a low risk, high reward setup with a stop loss right there. If this stop loss breaks, then it should come back and retest this low. But I bet that low will hold, whatever happens. But you're going to have to do what's best for you. It could be 2 here, right? like that. Could do that. And the RSI supports that. So this could be a very bullish setup. Could be something you want to keep on your alert. That would be a wave 3 in an altcoin. So that could have some substantial upside potential with very low risk if you use the stop loss correctly. So interesting coin to bring to our community's attention, as I'm sure no one's paying attention to that. PHA, let's take a look at that. Not as bullish. This one doesn't look that good. Let's see here. So there's a connector right there. That's the end. Did it break? It held. It actually held. All right. So it's it's still bullish against this 6.9, 7 cents. 7 cents. Here we go. Yeah, tough. So there's really, if I look at it, I would still label it as a bullish count for now against this low, as long as some of these pivots hold. Right. So this is the pivot that needs to hold at this 8 cent area. The target area is somewhere around 9.2, 9 cents. So it could go a little bit lower. It could go a little bit lower. Here. There's a small chance it finished there. Small chance, but it's possible. But this is the area, so it's really tough to say, is it done here or has it got more downside? 1, 2, 3 connector, and let's take a look. That's a clear cycle break there. That's your cycle break. Yeah, it looks like it needs a little more downside, just a little bit more. And then this is your, you have to stop out here at this area right there. And if it holds, it's a great, again, another great pump setup. And the next one is DVNP. This looks 3 waves off the low. You're still in this, so it's a 4. So this is tough. So this is either a 4 wave that will do that, or it's a 3 wave move, and it's going to go to new lows. So this is not a good setup. This is hard. I wouldn't trade this at all, actually. Now, if it came down that deep, then yeah, it's really this is very corrective in nature, it looks like to me. It needs to find some support, or it needs to continue with a connector. This is too difficult to try to trade this. You could even look, maybe you could try to trade it like a back test of this consolidation here. So perhaps if you really, like I have to trade this coin, I would probably just put my stop right there at this low and then trade it bullish, and just maybe I'll get lucky, and this could morph into something. Maybe it morphs into a 1-2-1-2, right? I mean, but you're just it's kind of like a lottery ticket. It's like a lottery ticket if you're trying to do that. You know, it could morph into that, but so maybe you could try to trade that here and see what happens. I mean, but I can't. I just don't see a good setup. I see too many possibilities to label it properly. Okay, I'll go over to the next one. All right, man, Bama. Thanks for the super chat. Yeah, PayPal. Yeah, I'm seeing PayPal in the news a lot. It's definitely caught the eye of traders and even fundamental investors. Let me see if I can find it. There it is. All right, so we still had this four wave, right? This little pesky four wave. Now, I don't really care about the wedge too much, but I did mention that if we broke out of that, it would be a risk of a bigger see. So could I be off by a swing? Sure. So I wouldn't trade just because I show a 5. So we need to see if do we have a cycle break or not higher. If we have a cycle break higher, then the low's in, and my labeling is just off a swing. And it could very well be the case. So we need to look at some of the charts. Weekly. All right. Well, the weekly RSI clearly is breaking higher, right? I mean, right, look. So it's in a new bull cycle. So we have to say the low's in. The low's in. So we won't worry about this labeling. We'll just say that's the low F here. So it's in a new bull cycle, higher. Now, this low breaks, technically it'd be devastating because now you're forming a connector, and you're essentially, if it breaks, I still think it would still ramp higher later. I mean, it could break and do this, but now you're in a new connector. Like it could always do this and then ramp, but more than likely that will come back and will be down. So right now, if you're a bull, you need this. It needs to stay above this low at $50, and it should continue higher. Something like this. Now, if it's still in 2, it will come back to 53, and then A, B, C, but I wouldn't count on it. This is tough, but I think it's bullish against this low, and it's just kind of going to keep grinding higher, and it may have found a major low, or it's forming a massive connector wave like Zoom may do. Then the other one is Berkshire Halfway. I'm not sure. There's one that they have that's the abbreviated version. We'll just have to wait and see. Let's take a look. Again, it's in price discovery. It's almost like looking at the indices. Look at all that bearish divergence, right? Interesting. Yeah, I mean, you have to say this is some kind of wave 5 right here, right? I mean, based on the divergences, right? Based on the divergences. Yeah. I don't know how you would label this. I guess you have to label it like that. And we just erased that divergence. So that's the labeling that I have. Now, I think if you're what you got to understand with Berkshire Halfway is, again, can this break out on the higher time frame, right? Can it break out of this downtrend line? And if it does that, more than likely, this will come back and take out this peak here. This peak here. And that will cause a massive blow off top, which would be a 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. So that's like, I guess that's the moon boy scenario in the indices, right? So right now this is, right now it's a wave 5. But what I'm trying to tell you guys is it can keep it like we saw with Nvidia, we saw with Facebook. Maybe at some point this happens with these other stocks too, and divergence is erased. And then this is really just a 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2, and then it's just 3 of 3 and off to the races. It'd be like 900,000. It's probably get like $1 million a share. $1 million a share. If in the moon boy scenario, now if it's not that, then it should be topping out pretty soon. It should be finding a lot of sellers coming soon. It should start to top out. Anyway, that's how I look at that one. Yeah, I'm still bullish on both of those. And like I said with Pfizer you got to play the long game on. Long game. That's not going to happen overnight. But I am bullish on both of them. All right, let's see any more super chats. I don't see any. All right, so just kind of go back to where we left off. Harbor and QNT cryptos. I thought we've done that one before. Guess we haven't. 5 waves down, right? Pretty easy to see that. 3 up. So it looks like to me it's unless it's a flat, and and I could force that labeling. This looks like 3, so it's in kind of no man's land. There's like I said, it's clearly 5, but now that looks kind of corrective to me. Now, if it could come back and take this high, then oh, say what? Am I looking at the right thing? I'm probably not even looking at the right chart on that. It's yeah, my bad. Let's pick that one. Yeah, it's kind of the same thing. This one's interesting because I have 1 2 connector, 1 2 3 4 5. So really, that's the low right there. You trade against that low right here. So there's a possibility that's the bottom. So as long as you're above this this low here, he should be bullish, because I looked at the pattern real quick and I see a 1-2, and then I actually see 3 waves down and a massive zigzag pattern lower. So we'll see. Something like that. But if it breaks that low, then it could be a go to zero coin. And then the next one on here you said was QNT. We've done QNT before. Let's see here. So we had that as a short, and we came down, and then we came back up. Okay, so we never got to the level that we wanted to get it back to dip by it, right? So we have to be careful that it still has more downside, and I think it probably does. So it just formed a bigger connector. Yeah. So I'll be looking for something like this. Again, it looks 3 waves. Now, there's a connector. Yeah, I think this is where we're going down, something like that. So we'll have to wait and see how this plays out. I'll be looking for something like that. The other alternative. Yeah, probably the better way to label it would be put the W there, or an ABC. We'll do like an ABC. Like that. So it puts the target a little bit lower. There. So that's what I'd look for, something like that. All right, I'll go to anonymous real quick. All right, good. I have all those charts. Mara, I think Mara turned up, right? So Mara was in the buy area and it's turning higher. So hopefully this will start a new bull cycle. It looks like to be, it could either be in a 5th wave. Yeah, so to me it's still something like this. I'm thinking something like that, but again, like Coinbase, it could be more bullish, and it could be this. So tough to say. The thing is, you need this low to hold. If that low breaks, then it's a connector, and that's very bearish. But that probably means crypto's got a lot more downside. That would take this all the way back down, more than likely. So we have to wait and see if it can hold this pivot here. A break of this high would definitely confirm 5 swings out, which would be perfect. But But yeah, I would look for something like this for right now and then see what happens. But yeah, if it rug pulls, he really needs to hold that low, and I really only see 3 waves. So this trend line, if this trend line breaks early, that would be a warning sign. But and then the other one's BCHG. Looks like it's making its turn lower. We have it as a buy at 240. So that's been textbook so far. And then LTCN, same thing, making its turn lower. I don't know how deep it's going to go, but it should definitely come somewhere down in the $6 area, maybe this general vicinity. I think this is too low down here, but I do think it's making its turn lower. If it, for some reason it could pump and break these pivots here, then then B is extending higher. All right, thanks for the super chat, TRGN. Let's take a look at what you guys have. Nat. All right, so there's your cycle reset. Very shallow wave 2. Maybe in some kind of running flat structure right here, or it's still going to push lower, which is probably more likely, right? So more than likely it's got another dip coming down to this area where would be a buy in this area right here, 355, 287, because that just is too shallow of a pullback and then out. All right, and then Cocoa. Looks like we've done that before. Let's take a look at what we got here. So it looks like we got that wave 5 finished here, but let's just double check. No, we're still in 4. We broke it, and we're down, so we're still in wave 4. So wave 4 double corrected, so I still be looking for this wave 5. It's just taking a complex correction lower. So I said I'd be looking for. Let's take a look. I mean, look at the R side reset. So oversold. In fact, you can make the argument, and again, Elliott Waves isn't perfect all the time, but I think given the massive reset, we should put the 5 there. And this is correct in the whole cycle. The whole cycle. So it's in a buy area right now, today. This is a great long trade opportunity on the long side, in my opinion. But you all guys will have to do what's best for you. I could be wrong, but this looks like it's finishing the first wave, and it's in 2. That's what it looks like to me. Yeah. All right, and then BROS. We have to buy here. It could have fell short, and it looks like it did. You know, it just didn't quite get there. So because this looks like 5 off the low. And now it's pulling back. This is really messy. This could be an A. So it could do something like this. The other alternative is it was a flat correction and it's already finished. There's really no setup, but it's bullish against 2252. Rig. Yeah, rig, I have that one. I follow that one. And I have it in wave 4. Or again, or it's a corrective structure. And if it is, then it's going to be a go to 0. But I'm looking at it now and looking at what oil's doing, and in that reset, I have to relabel it, right? But the 4 became too extreme. So now you're correct in the first impulse off the low. I would like to buy it somewhere around 374, this area here, as a speculative lottery ticket. Wake me up in 3 or 4 years, but buy 1,000 shares of it, see what happens. I mean, that's what I would look at it as, with a stop at obviously whatever this low is. So you have to have has to be money or not, But I think this will be the setup. There's no setup here. This looks like, again, very impulsive on the way down. So I could easily do this, right? But again, it could also have a shallow connector up here. So there's really no setup, but it is in some kind of wave 2 sell-off. And I wouldn't want to play the lottery ticket play until we're in this area right around here. That would be my lottery ticket play if we can get it in that area. But knowing that it could easily come back and play around in here for months, doing that. But if this is a major low and this is impulsed off the low, there could be significant upside opportunity, speculative upside opportunity in this instrument. So it's worth it's worth it. And so I'll probably, that's why I keep an eye on this one. I'll probably buy 1,000 shares down here just for the hell of it, and just hold it to see what happens. More than likely, just because. But we'll have to wait and see. I won't buy. I don't like it here. But you have to decide and do what's best for you. But it looks like 5 waves down. And I have no idea what that other one is. FTCHF. Far-fetched. Yeah, this one's in a lot of trouble, right? I mean, look, it broke that low. I won't even try to label it. I mean, the only hope is, does it have Fibonacci support somewhere? Yeah, I mean, there is some Fibonacci support right there. So it's due a relief rally. I mean, it's due a relief rally, right? Because even the shorts have to take profit, right? I mean, they got to take profit. They're going to take profit. So to me, it's due a relief rally. So if you're going to try to buy this long, you're trying to speculate on a relief rally. So basically, you're going to speculate that you're going to get that, or it's going to go to 0 and you're going to lose all your money. I mean, when I look at this, 1 2 1 2 3 4 3 4 5 1 2. So it doesn't look like it's ready yet from an Elliott wave count standpoint. But what do I know? But I think you're playing and hoping for a relief rally, and perhaps you'll get lucky and get that. or you'll lose all your money. I mean, that's kind of what this is here. All right. Thanks for the super chat. Broila Dennison. All right, cool. All right, thank you. I appreciate that super chat. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you. And let's see your question. Yeah, I'll take a look at those. Yeah, different country stock. It's on the Oslo. I assume this is it. All right, there's your A, some kind of connector, and then the next leg roll lower, right? All right, so it's in the buy area, but because it's gone so deep, we need to look at the RSI, just kind of see if it can help us understand where we are with it. The weekly that weekly wants to turn up, right? Look at that. So no luck. You see that divergence? It would be nice to get one more kind of capitulate, move. But if that weekly RSI breaks, then most likely the bottom is in, and you'll have a massive relief rally, or potentially a generational low in this stock. Elliott wave wise, labeling it. It doesn't look done yet, right? That's what I was kind of just saying, right? So it looks like to me, and again, it's easy to be off by one swing on these, but it looks like to me it needs one more push lower. And I would love to see when that happens, the weekly RSI break that low, and then that would be the time, the ideal entry. But I mean, this is the time where you gotta, if you believe in this company, you dollar cost average in, and you start just nibbling. But that's what this looks like to me. And clearly this is an impulse, right? So clearly it also says that this is an impulse. We should at one day break this high, which we probably will one day. So that's that one. And we'll keep that one on our watch list because that one looks pretty good. I assume it's some kind of commodity play. And then the next one was Massmaric. Yes, that container company, right? So you're still in the same cycle. So there's a very bullish count. So the bullish count is still valid. So I'll go with the more bullish count for now, but it can easily get invalidated. So you need to be aware of that, and I'll tell you what that is in a minute. It's a very bullish count, right? The other count is it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And if that happens, then it's probably dropping all the way back down to this area of support down here. So that's an important thing to keep an eye on. So now here, it's about where's the connector. Looks like it's right there. And then also looks like we've start to form a new one. We erased divergence there. It could actually be finished. Its correction. 3, connector, 3. So this is an important level. It's got to hold this level right here. And if it doesn't, then it sets itself up for that bigger drop that I just mentioned. So you really need, if you're bullish, you really need to see this hold, that pivot hold. But it looks, I mean, this looks pretty impulsive off the bottom, right? And we tagged the buy area to the penny. Looks like yesterday. So we'll see if that plays out. We'll see if that plays out. Yeah, it looks like you got that another inverse head and shoulders forming. You see that? Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. All right, it's pretty bullish. It's pretty bullish setup yesterday. You know, everyone, you know, that was pretty bullish setup. So we'll get, yeah, I'll keep that one too on the watch list and add that to commodities. Oops. Okay. All right, cool. Thanks again for the super chat. I'll just make sure I got everyone's super chats. Yeah, I think it's getting close time to wrap up, but I'll scan through the comments and see if I can say anything that I haven't covered that's important, I think. Yeah, Tesla. Let me go to Tesla. I've had to update that chart. I spent more time looking at that because I know everyone likes to trade that. So, yeah, I want to take a step back and look at Tesla. So, obviously, 1, 2, and I'm going to go with this labeling off the low, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I believe it's because of divergence at that peak here. See that? Divergence. So I'm going with the 5, and then I'm going to go with 3, and now we need 3. So if I do that, if I do this and using my system, the target is 160.88, somewhere in this area. Of course, this low has to hold at 102. And then we're in B. So I think we're in B already. I think we're already in B. So this, if you see this connector, it was pretty violent. So so I don't know if B is going to jump. It could do this, but it may be shallow. Like, I don't know, because oil's breaking down. And let's just face it, guys, oil bearish is bearish for Tesla because people don't buy EVs when price of oil is inexpensive. So it could be done like this. I don't know, but you'll have to, I wouldn't trade it. I would definitely look at long opportunities here, but I do think, you know, when you step back and look at Tesla, this bigger picture, it looks like to me, again, 1, 2, 1, 2, out. That's what it looks like. It just, and this looks like 5, so we should get another swing higher. We should. So anyway, I wanted to show that chart. Possible bank, yeah. AI is still holding its pivots. It should be good as long as those pivots hold. But it's running, you know, it's a nail biter for sure. AG silver, yeah, silver did a nasty rug pull, right? Somebody went all in on their calls or something going into the jobs report, and then got blown up in the silver market or precious metals or whatever. But it looks like it's just another 3-wave move down. So it was weird. It's a strange move, right? So again, explaining my system. Here we had 3 waves, and this was the buy area. I gave him my video. Nice upside. Oh, rug pull. We're back down. Didn't lose any money. A lot of people lost a lot of money. We didn't lose anything. And so what do? We just kind of hang tight. So we hang tight. We don't worry about it right now. But it does look like it's something like that. Now, see, it can keep going down lower. It can happen. So we just got to be careful of that. But we'll see what happens. But this is what happened. Just a massive, you know, obviously a lot of people got blown up on that drop on Friday. Bank failure. Yeah, I mean, it could be bank failure. It could be the news that tops this market finally, and we need to look out for that. We need to look out for news, because there's got to be news. If you're hoping for the crash, right? Or and if you're placing your bet that you're going to get B, there's got to be news-driven event. It's not going to be, oh, the jobs report was too strong. Oh my God, the market's going to crash. Oh, the Fed isn't raising rates. Oh my God, none of that is going to do it. It's got to be something really bad, like 2009, 2008 bad. It's got to be something like you wake up and, you know, some one of the one of the Magnificent Seven, cooked their books. It's fraudulent. It's bankrupt and out of business overnight. Like it's got to be something like Enron-esque, like Lehman Brother. Shit's collapsing that nobody had in their minds, or a geopolitical event that people think won't happen. Like you wake up, China invaded Taiwan, or nuclear war breaks out for some reason. I don't know why, but maybe Putin says, f this, one day and just loses it. I mean, I don't know. Like you don't know what will cause it, but man, we will all know. We should all know if you're going to get that kind of sell-off, because 2009, that was the easiest sell-off if you were trading back then. I mean, that was like, and yet people were still buying the dip, which was ironic, like crazy, just like in the pandemic sell-off. Like, see, those sell-offs are easy to find. Like, this won't be searching for, like, why do you think the market is going? We'll know. We'll all know why the market is going down. It will be so crystal clear. And then we would be like, who's actually buying this market? Like, what idiot is actually going long here? But that's the passive money that just buys and they don't pay attention to the news. That's who holds the bag at the end when we get those kind of sell-offs. But for now, trust me, a really good jobs report is not going to crash this market. I mean, it was just traders getting blown up. Just people were betting on a weak report, obviously. Day traders and even large traders must have been, to cause what happened to the dollar and the 10-year. Yeah, solar stocks will break out when oil is done correcting, guys. Oil has got a journey. It's got to go down in this journey. It broke the trend line too. It's got to get down to this box or somewhere close to it. It's got to break these lows. Until that happens, solar is under pressure, I think, and not really viable, no matter how cheap it looks. So this is what I need to see. I need to see oil down here, some point down here. When oil's here, I will be, First Solar. I'll be like loading up on First Solar, guys, loading up, and probably TAN too. But you just can't buy it, no matter what the chart does. I just can't do it. I just can't do it. Seems like the SPX will keep rising, and then collapse will come. Yeah, I think that's what's got to happen. I think the market's out of sync. I think and again, I'm just speculating. I think the Magnificent Seven will peter out in 4s and 5s, or stop, or sideways, and then while that is happening, money will flow into all the other stuff that hasn't run. They will run, they will peter out, and then you'll get a massive drawdown. That's what will happen. That's what I think will happen, or crash even. Meta's in wave 3 of 3 grand super cycle. It's just going to keep pushing higher, and there's no reason to even try to short that. But buy the dips in 3 waves. Yes, if you get a 4-hour 3 wave, buy it. I would trade that. Yeah, I think the SPY could pull back next week. I said the SPY could go back next week down. I think we could get a sell-off next week here, this wave 2. And yeah, 489 is definitely possible. This is definitely possible, guys. But again, we've been seeing these really shallow corrections. So I don't know. Now, I could also do this. We've already started our correction. So tough to say, right? I don't know. But I think it's very possible actually you get this pullback next week. But it's just another dip to buy. Now, the thing that would shock me would be another one too, right? I mean, that would just be crazy, right? But who knows? The market's been pretty crazy lately, so who knows? All right. Okay, yeah, I got your SVIX. Oh, Stacy, good to see you. Yeah. Again, I'm just flipping through. Looks like another super chat came in. Oh, a couple more did. All right, I'll do anonymous and Tegan, and then that's it. So AEHR. Yeah, how's that doing these days? Should be getting close to the end, right? We're close to the yeah. We're close. I think we're close to the end of the correction. Oh, look at that capitulation, dude. A lot of people got blown up. All right, you see this divergence on the daily? This has got to get erased. I can't allow that to happen. So it's not done yet. It's got more downside. It's got more downside. It's just people want to buy it. I don't know. I mean, yeah, we broke that low, something like that. It's more downside. I would say you got to wait. You got to get this divergence to erase, and then you want to see, you know, three waves down on that. So more downside. Now X could be bigger. It could do that. It could do that. A, B, C crap, but it's still lower. It's still got more downside. So AEHR still got more downside. Not there yet. Neo, yeah, we really talk about China. How's Neo doing? Again, oil. If oil's under pressure, Neo should be under pressure. We're almost in our buy area, but the swings aren't there yet. We've really played Neo pretty well, right? Neo got played. We shorted there. Neo. So Neo's the buy in this area, but it's not there yet. It's just not there yet. I don't think we've had our wave three moment to the downside, which I think should happen. Um, it looks like that. It looks like this impulse is almost over, or it is over. Maybe it's done here. Maybe it pumps another a little bit more. Like tough to say, but more downside. All right, Chewy. Yeah, I used to like that stock, and it broke a pivot, and I had to just give up on that one. But haven't looked at it in a while. Um, I can't check all these things all the time. Just don't have time for it. But let's see here. Where do I got Chewy at? There it is. Oh, is it finally getting into a buy area? Yeah, this is so I have a long-term buy area at 1423, and it's essentially a Fibonacci extension of this connector wave. maybe it's finished. It may be finished. Oh, look at that. It got rejected. Yeah. So it's still in its massive downtrend. Uh, there's a chance that's the low, but I think it's unlikely. I think it's unlikely. But it's possible. It's possible that's the low in Chewy. But look, that looks three waves. So I doubt it is. But, you know, if I was, again, just looking at the chart here, it needs more downside. Yeah, that's a connector. That's a connector. So I don't like it. I don't like it. I just stay away from it. I don't know why it's so bearish. I mean, these guys not selling stuff anymore, or like what happened to this company? Like my kids buy stuff from Chewy all the time for our pets. I just don't know why is this stock so bad? Like I see Chewy boxes all over my house, man. I got Chewy shit all over my house. How the hell is this stock so bad? Like do they manage like is this company that mismanaged that they can't, figure this shit out? Like what are they doing? So this is where I want to check the fundamentals, right? Like, what are they doing so bad? Yeah, I mean, yeah, just they're just losing money. They need to do some, the year of efficiency or some shit like that to turn this shit around. But but man, look at this pattern that broke. Look at that with a backtest failure. I mean, I don't know. What is Chewy going bankrupt, guys? I mean, I don't know. I would stay away from this thing if I wouldn't buy it, man. But I mean, but the thing is, like I said, these boxes are all over my house. Like I don't understand. Like I don't understand how they're doing so bad. I think a lot of people buy it, use them. So this is just a poorly run. This has just got to be a poorly run company. I mean, not being managed properly. So I don't know. You need like a shareholder to like fire management and get this shit turned around. Um, but anyway, all right. I'm gonna wrap up and just double check I don't have any more super chats. Would we not need a recession to get oil to drop? That's tricky. I mentioned before my videos, like what's the news that will cause oil to go down there? It could be perceived very bearish, like a recession, a collapse. That was '09, oil collapsed like that, and that was really bad for the market. But the other is it could be, Jay Powell, you won, you did it. Inflation has been conquered, and we still have high jobs, high growth, and then China comes in the back end with some kind of stimulus or whatever to save their stock market, and then oil is just oversupplied, so I don't know. It's tough to say, but I don't want to guess either. But I do think that is going to be a big question fundamentally on what may drive the market ultimately. But oil could be telling us that there's a recession coming, there's no demand, but it also could be telling us there's no supply or there's too much supply and demand is just fine. So I just don't know. I don't know. But I don't know. Fundamentally why. IWM, I thought I covered IWM. Yeah, I covered that already. Nvidia, I covered that already. Um, I think we're good to go. I think I've covered all the super chats. All right, guys, thanks again for everything. We have a good week coming up. Again, looking for some a pullback. Looking for a pullback. That's what I'm looking for. That's the most likely path in the market is a pullback to correct this like V bottom that we had last week, and then we'll see what happens. But we'll see. But yeah, should get a pullback, and we'll go from there. And